Good morning all, partners and colleagues and friends alike, and welcome to the UNTHA Innovational 2021. What I'm going to be doing today, my name is Gary Moore, and I am your moderator for today, and hopefully I'm going to be guiding you seamless through the presentation and the events today, and obviously we have some excellent guests and people that are going to be joining us. We do have some excellent presentations, and we also have some very informational videos for you to view as well and review. Firstly, what I'd like to do is introduce our CEO, Alois Kitzberger, who would like to say a few words to you. So, Alois, over to you.
Thank you, Gary. Dear sir, madam, dear members of the UNTHA family, welcome to the UNTHA Innovation Day 2021. Despite this event can only be held virtually due to COVID, you may expect exciting themes and subjects. According to the motto, Facing the Future Together, new future technologies and products will be presented to improve your market position. I would like to mention that the project UNTHA Fit for Future is far advanced. We have already done a lot of investments in product development and optimization, in a modern IT and process management, in infrastructure, as well as in organization management to improve UNTHA's position in competition. Afterward, you will see a short clip that shows these future investments in a compact and clear manner. As you know, our company is growing well for years. This also enables these investments in the future. Finally, I would like to take the opportunity to thank you personally. This growth would not be possible without your support. Thank you for your good and cooperative partnership, but also for your patience and understanding if we were not able to fully meet your expectations. I wish you an exciting event and continued success. Thank you.
Alois, thank you for those inspirational and welcoming remarks. I think you'll all agree it is very inspirational to all of us. And, you know, we have a fantastic overview of the things that, from Alois there, that we've already achieved together. And we have such a positive outlook for the future. And, you know, I continue to wish everyone success as well for this, which we think is going to be quite an exciting day. So now what I'd like to do, I'd like to introduce to the floor Peter Streinik.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. Yeah, good morning, partners, good morning, colleagues. Yeah, warm welcome also from my side. I'm happy to announce today that we will present a lot of really nice and very interesting innovations. But before that, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce, respectively, to welcome our guests which are here with us today. So, first of all, I would like to introduce Daniel Resnick. Daniel is responsible for XR and now also, of course, ZR sales in Central Europe with a focus on Germany and Austria. Then Marcus Brew. Marcus Brew is the managing director of UNTHA UK, therefore for sure responsible for the UK but also for Australia. Next one is Bernie Martins. Bernie Martins is our managing director of UNTHA America, responsible for the US and Canada. Then we have Hubert Schwarz. Hubert Schwarz is head of preparation and process development at company Schaufler. And company Schaufler is our ZR and XR customer for metal recycling in Austria. Then Christian Lanner. Christian Lanner, head of technology and innovation at UNTHA. Yeah, most of you know him. And yeah, he is the one who developed the ZR. And finally, Markus Eibel. Markus Eibel is the product manager for Genius, the new brain of UNTHA Shredders, and he will also give us a presentation today. Yeah, now I would like to wish all of us an exciting and an interesting UNTHA Innovation Day. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter, for your remarks and for introducing our esteemed panel of experts. I think most of you will already know these guys, obviously from past experiences, and you know, they've pretty much all been with the company, you know, for many years. So you will know these people, and obviously share your comments with them later on today. So basically, what we're now going to do, we're going to look forward to hearing what these guys have to say. So now let's start moving forward and looking at some of these several exciting topics.
I want to welcome also to you to this presentation. It's a pleasure for me to show you this time our innovations and future developments. What we will see today, first we want to start with our new innovations. So this means you will see today our new developments on the XR series, on the RC system. The next will be our changeable screens, what we have developed new. The third topic will be from my colleague, Markus. He will give us a presentation from the digital side, so from Genius. And then we will come to our main topic. This will be the ZR presentation. But we will give you also a little bit the outlook of future developments. So this means what will be the next steps. And there we will show you our newest things on the traction drives. Okay, so first a little bit I want to explain how it comes to these developments. So this means we have our XR module construction system, and in this modular construction system we have at the moment 3 machine series inside. So we have there the CR series, the XR series, and the ZR series now. And we have more or less 4 different cutting systems on the single shaft shredder side. And new will be now that we have on the 2 shaft shredder side also 2 new cutting systems. On top of it, we have our 2 drive systems, means the asynchronous drive and also the synchronous drive. And we have static and mobile solutions. So this means altogether is this total system a huge modular system now, which is growing every year, and which is at the moment no competitor else have such a size of a modular system. To increase or to go forward with this modular system, you have to be careful in the development. So you have to be straight and consequent, and it's necessary to be not everybody's darling. So we have to find out what are really the hot topics into the development to increase such a modular system. And this is quite complicated because you have to really carefully that you can fulfill all the requirements. So I want to give you a short outlook how it comes to these developments. So this means we have done some customer analysis. where we want to find out the hot topics for the future developments. Yeah? And for this, we have done many interviews in the field, where we have done 21 interviews with customers. And afterwards, we have done a survey. This means where the customer have to fulfill a digital analysis, and where they have to give us the informations on the importance and on the satisfaction from their needs. Yeah? And we put then all together in a conclusion, means we have done the analysis then. So the result was then a customer needs analysis, where you can see here the results. So this means we had more or less 100 requirements from the customers, which we want to find out the hot topics. Means this you can see here in this chart, the red points. And on these red points, this was the focus on the development. So we have done on these topics, we have made all our developments now. Okay, so as next, I want to show you the result of this customer analysis. So this means it was also for us a little bit surprising what are the main customer needs. So we had the hot topics was the fast maintenance of the cutting system. This was on point 1. The second was that the customer want to have really robust shredders, which can handle all unshreddables. These main topics we try to fulfill now with our new developments on the RC side and on the Zeta side. The third point was from the outcome that the machine should easily recognize the degree of the wear. This is something on the digital side which we want to fulfill in the future. Then the fourth point was the maintenance. This is also a hot topic where the customer highlighted, and where we have done now a lot of investments in UNTHA to fulfill this requirement. And the fifth and the sixth point was points what they need on the digital side. This means this we will fulfill from our Genius team to fulfill easily identification and understanding of the cause of electrical malfunctions. And the last point was to be able to easily read error messages. So on this customer analysis, we have done now our new developments. As next, we will start now with our XR series. So we will give you a trailer from our new RC system. This we have recorded last week, so it's not a live presentation, it's a recorded presentation, and we will show you now. Dear sales team, it's a pleasure for me to show you our new developments. First of all, we're starting with our new RC system. What is the essential principle of this system? This is a one-shaft shredder, a slow-speed shredder with an electric drive without RAM device. For which application we are using this type of machine? This is mainly developed for waste applications, means MSW, CNI, bulky waste, or even for waste wood and for organic waste shredding. The output of our customer survey was 2 hot topics. The first hot topic was to have a fast maintenance of the cutting system in an event of a wear. This we are fulfilling through this very less amount of cutters on the rotor. And the second hot topic was to have a robust cutting system. This we are fulfilling through the size of cutter and through the fixing system which we have developed here. I want to show you now the technical details of this cutting system. First of all, we are starting with the cutting principle. You can see here we have huge cutters now. We have a less amount of cutters on the total rotor. Through the huge cutters, we are producing less fines during the operation of the machine. We are reaching a high capacity on the throughput side, and we are very aggressive to catch the material inside of the machine. How to adjust the cutting gap? It is possible to adjust the cutting gap from 0 to 20 millimeter. This means you can extending the lifetime of the cutters if the customer adjusting the gap. On top of it, the machine gives some better capacity, better particle size, and needs less electric energy. The second advantage of this cutting system is that we are using no RAM device. This means the machine have, first of all, a lower purchase price. The second point is that we are getting a bigger feeding opening. This is a quite important feature to feed the machine with shovel loaders or with big cranes. The third point is that we are using no hydraulic system, and that using no RAM device needs less maintenance. The RC system can be adjusted with screen or with screen bars. Screens we are using for the wooden application, so this means that you can go down in one step to a real small particle size. Screen bars we are using for the waste applications. On screen sizes we have several sizes available. You can have this with or without chip breakers. How looks now the wear concept behind the RC cutting system? The rotary cutters from the RC system are one time usable, the starter cutters 2 times. To have less wear costs, the cutters have to be several times wear welded. Through the filler material on the cutting edges from the wear welding, the customer receiving longer lifetime as with some regular hardened steel. This work can be done after the warranty period from the customer by himself, or UNTHA can offering this service. At the moment is this service in UNTHA still some manual work, but next year we will have some machine-made solution available. The customer can send various number of cutters to Kuchel, and we can give this refurb. To manage this offer all over the world, we have to find some solutions with our sales partners, which should give this service on a local basis. Okay, so we have seen now the technical presentation of our new RC system. As next, we want to show you for which application we are using this type of cutting system. Okay, on this video you could see a various amount of application where we are using this RC system. As next we want to go over to Daniel Vresnik. Daniel is our guy from the demonstration department, and he will give us a little bit experience what he have done with this new system on the demonstration in the field.
Yeah, thanks, Christian. Yeah, well, we did some specific tests, machine tests on wood waste with the particle size of around 100 millimeters as an output size. This was more or less the task in a one-step shredding process to realize for different customers. Therefore, we set up our demo machine in this kind of operation with different screen diameters, as also seen in the video with and without chip breakers, to get full information about the situation. As a highlight, we had 2 long-term machine tests, one in Germany, where we did approximately 400 operating hours on site. So we did a long-term run on the tool life to get real good figures about the tool life, as well as an overall throughput capacity, where we ended up as a resume at around 30 to 35 tons an hour, depending on the screen diameter. Secondly, we did an ongoing test in the same field of operation in Austria, where we did in total around 200 operating hours, with the same task to reach 100 millimeter output size in a one-step shredding process. This was really good for us to prove on one hand side the information from the first test from Germany, and on the other side to convince this Austrian customer to go ahead with our system as well. Finally, the big and the highlight out of this test, the resume of this test, have been as follow. We could reach a high throughput capacity with low power consumption. So our throughput power consumption ratio was really, really good, similar to the existing C machine as we were using this kind of application, our cutter machine. On the other side, we could also fulfill the requirements of the robustness of the cutting system, as mentioned by Christian. So we did on this 400 and as well as 200 operating hour test several foreign object body tests to be as good resistance versus these foreign objects to turn into lowest possible operating costs. So more or less, these would have been our specific tests, but what happened in the UK, Markus? Do you have similar experience done?
Yeah, we've done several tests with the machine now, but also we've been operating one of the RCs since the beginning of the year in a waste-to-energy operation. So that was in line with 2 XCs for fuel preparation. The machine's been running 20 hours a day. I'm feeding 2 of the XCs quite successfully for that period of time. So quite exciting from that side. We'd also seen as well, following on from the wood waste, a really, really strong presence in the biomass market. So that's typically where we struggled with the likes of the brash, cuttings from trees, stumps from trees, this type of material. Which for UNTHA has been quite a difficult material to process historically. The RC has absolutely ticked all the boxes. It's really, really fantastic for processing of that difficult material. I mean, we've got this week alone, we've got another test on that's being conducted with a big biomass producer in the UK. We're going down to a P63, so this is a power generation specification in a single pass, and achieving with that material around about 40 to 50 tons an hour, which seems to be quite a magic number for a lot of these biomass operators in terms of the throughput for that style of machine. Now, the great news is that obviously we're doing it with less operating costs, less power costs, and the market generally in the UK is really, really excited about the RC and the product and what we're going to bring over the next several years.
Daniel and Markus, thank you very much for the experience from the demonstrations. As next point, we are coming to the next innovation what we have. We come to the point of the changeable perforated screens. So I think we can go in the presentation. Here you can see, sorry. Here you can see the picture of our new changeable perforated screens. This means we have now in the standard included in our C models, and XC models are from now equipped with these changeable inlets. This means you have just to change the inlet as a wear part, and it's possible to rotate the screen for 180 degrees and put the inside from the outside areas. So this is now in the standard of all our XR machines included, and is something what we have new on the innovation side. As next, we want to show you a future development. This means this is something what is available not now, but will be available from spring next year. And we will show you the presentation of our new e-traction drive. I want to give you now a preview for future developments. We had in the history customers which are moving the machine on a seldom way. So this means they are moving the machines every 2-3 months. But we have also customers which are moving our mobile machines on a frequent way. This means they are moving every week, for example. On top of it, they have longer distances to drive the machine. And for this type of customers, our existing solutions are at the moment too slowly. For this requirement, we have developed now a new driving unit which will run much quicker than the existing system. The request was that we are increasing our speed from actually 0.3 kilometer each hour to up to 1 kilometer each hour. So this means 3 times the speed of the existing solution. For this, we have developed an electro drive on a battery basic. Why we have changed now from our benzene or petrol generator to a battery pack? The reason was that to increase the speed, we need 3 times the size of the current power pack. There was no possibility to have the place on the mobile machine available on the existing frame. So we have to develop a much more compact power pack, and this was one of the main reasons that we can fulfill this with a battery pack. The second was that our gasoline generators had from time to time a little bit troubles after longer still standings. Means if we are sending the machines overseas, then it could happen that they had trouble with starting afterwards. This is an advantage of this battery pack, that this keeps the energy and no start procedure is available. On top of it, we had from time to time customer which was working with contaminated petrol and filters, and so this gives also some troubles with this generator. With battery packs, this will not happening. For that reason, we developed now this new system, and we will have this available in spring next year. I want to explain now the technical solution of this drive. We will have there 2 battery packs available. One will be the standard pack, which will fulfill the regular requirements, and the second pack will be a bigger ones, which can have a longer run for the machine for customer which are running wide distances. The battery is a special gel accu pack which will need no maintenance or no filling water required. And the total drive will be controlled by a new a new remote control where you can drive the machine.
Thank you, Christian, for this great overview of the next stage of our XR shredder. pretty informative. So yeah,
Thank you.
great news. Next, we would like to present a pioneer in technology. And once again, we will start with this video. Well, what a fascinating topic. We call this, this is UNTHA Genius, and we call this the shredder's brain. And I'm sure you're going to be amazed. And hopefully Marcus is going to be the guy just to amaze you. So I'm now going to hand you over to Marcus Ebel, who is the expert on the Genius technology. Marcus?
Thank you very much, Gary, for the introduction. So I would also like to welcome all of our viewers. And yeah, today we talk about Genius. So it's already 3 years ago when we decided to bring shredding to the next level by digitizing our products. And as you all know, from a historical point of view, we are a company that mainly deals with the development of mechanical solutions. So we mainly deal with mechanical engineering. So these were completely uncharted waters for us. So completely new for us. So we were faced a lot of questions at the beginning. What is digitization, or what does digitization means in terms of our machines? What are the advantages that should bring this product to our customers? And yeah, we made our thoughts about this question and brought up Genius. And now I have a short clip for you that should answer most of these questions.
UNTHA Shredding Technology. This is Mr. Meyer. He is the CEO of a waste management business and operates a recycling plant with an UNTHA shredder. Mr. Meyer is happy with his shredder, but there is always the risk of an unscheduled shutdown of his plant. It's always annoying when it happens, as these interruptions cost time and money. To increase plant availability, Mr. Meyer is keen to avoid future shutdowns as far as possible. There is now a great solution to help him achieve just that. UNTHA Genius, your shredder's brain, the intelligent condition monitoring tool for UNTHA shredders. This tool presents Mr. Meyer with several advantages: a high level of plant availability, the immediate correction of deviations, increased productivity, significant cost reduction, and maximum data transparency in real time. Via the customer platform myuntha.com, Mr. Meyer is able to analyze, manage, and optimize his UNTHA machine pool in an easy, user-friendly manner. He is able to review all process and operating data at any time and is always up to speed on the latest condition of his machine, as well as the exact energy costs. Mr. Meyer can identify looming machine issues before they happen, plan service calls, and punctually order spare parts. As soon as a deviation of machine data is detected, an alarm push notification is sent to his smartphone or PC, helping him identify the fault and decide on what to do next. He is able to access and evaluate the productivity reports for his plant at any time, either daily, weekly, or monthly. In case of questions, he can get in touch with the UNTHA Customer Service Centre to clarify details, arrange for a service call, order spare parts, or purchase additional service products. Since Mr. Meyer has begun to use Genius, he has benefited not only from the higher availability of his plant, but has also increased his utilisation level, reduced operating and wear costs, and maximised the plant's cost effectiveness. This makes Mr. Meyer very happy indeed. UNTHA Genius, your shredder's brain.
So if you had any problems with the connections right now, so don't worry, you can review this video on our homepage. And yeah, back to Genius. That was somehow the beginning of Genius. And one may think, how hard can it be to just measure a couple of data and send them to a cloud? That's what we are doing on a daily basis. But you can trust me, you need to do a lot of homework in order or not to get the data to the cloud, but to do it reliable and continuously all over the world and 24 hours a day, so to say. After 2 years, we are pretty proud, after 2 years of development, that last year we launched our first digital product, Genius. 1 year later, so today, we equipped more than 100 machines with Genius, and I brought the map with me, where you can get a small overview where the machines are distributed, and you can trust me, those machines are getting more and more. And without announcing any of the features of Genius, it must be clear for everyone that this brings the customer service to a whole new level. So we have more opportunities here because we have all the data of the machine in one platform, and we can access it 24 hours, and our service can react on issues in real time, so to say. But enough of the theoretical stuff. I would like to show you the advantages of Genius in terms of our customers. And therefore, I visited a customer a couple of days ago. It's located close to Salzburg, so not too far from here. We have been there to do a short performance trial, and after a short video, we will analyze this trial together with the help of Genius. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are at the site of our customer, SAB, that is located north of Salzburg. What you can see behind me is a brand new XR3000 that was installed just a couple of weeks ago. It is equipped with a RC cutting system, and this customer is mainly processing bulky waste with it. And here are some impressions of the machine. So what you can't see directly is that this machine is equipped with Genius, our real-time machine monitoring and assistance system. To show you the advantages of Genius, especially of the reporting feature, we will do a short performance trial today. So to give you the chance to follow the performance of the machine as well as Genius, we will split the screen, and you should be able to see the machine status, the actual power as well as the rotational speed. So, because I'm pretty sure that you rather like to see the machine performing than me talking, we will start the trial right away. So, here we go. since it's pretty loud here and much more comfortable in the studio, we will analyze this trial back in the studio. Those of you who follow this presentation carefully may have noticed that this is the same site as well as the same customer that Christian showed before for the RC performance trial. So this once more underlines that our customers are satisfied with our product. So the machine before was a trial machine of ours, and now the customer bought the machine. But back to Genius. So what you should have, or the most important factor of this trial is not the performance of the machine in this case, but it is the fact that Genius is a real-time machine monitoring system. So we have all the data in real time online, and that's all over the world. So what you see behind me or next to me should be somehow familiar to you. This is the dashboard of Genius. This is exactly the machine we demonstrated a minute ago. At the moment, the machine is standing still. Yeah, that's also a fact about Genius. It's always telling the truth, so to say. It doesn't lie. And if we go one step back, we will here see the dashboard of my UNTHA. So here we have different features, and we have two more boxes here. They were launched just a couple of months ago. But since this is not a technical training today, we will just focus on the reporting function today. But don't worry, we will have a technical training on 1st of October. You will get the invitation for this event after this day, so to say. So if we click here, we go to the reporting. The first window that pops up here is a short tutorial for this feature. It somehow explains the user how to use this feature and outpoints the most important advantages of it. Since you have me today, we will skip this one and directly go to the report window. So don't worry about all these numbers and the text here. We just click here in order to create the report. Here we have two different options. Either you create a runtime report, or you can create an automated report, which is much more comfortable for our customers. For the one-time report, we here have a simple mask where you can type in the shredder if you have more than one, the time of period, as well as different parameters like the throughput of the machine. To save some time, I already did this for you because it takes a couple of seconds to generate these reports. So I will just go to this specific report. That's this one. So it's a PDF. If you generate it, you will receive it via mail and also can download it online. This is somehow the first page of the report with the most important information. The machine serial as well as, again, the period of time. But where it's getting interesting, that's the second one, is the second slide. Sorry, it's this one. And this is an automated report of 2 days. What the customer can do with this kind of report is take a look and try to optimize its machine. So Monday, we see the worker came a bit late, and typically Monday, so to say. On Tuesday, different day, different worker started earlier, but therefore had a couple of breaks. And what we can see here is the distribution of the different states. How long the machine was in production, how long it was in idle mode. What's pretty nice here is that for the future machines, we have the opportunity to declare certain maintenance steps directly at the machine. So we see here that on 1 hour maintenance was done directly at the machine. And on the next page, it is nice to see sorry for that. Which maintenance step was done. So the rotor knives were changed at this time. What we can else see on this side are just a couple of parameters that are the most important parameters for the customer. So these are the operating hours, so 236 hours. So the customer knows if he needs to change the oil or stuff like that. The energy consumption as well as the energy costs. We have just two events here that are called the reversing's due to an overload and the machine shutdowns also due to an overload. This the customer can use in order to train his employees, because when we have high numbers here, the customer or the worker just overloaded the machine. So you can use these kind of parameters in order to optimize your throughput. But since this day is not a technical training, but it's called Innovation Day, and we want to face the future, I also want to talk about the future developments. And first of all, I want to go deeper into the developments of UNTHA. I'm happy to announce that just a couple of days ago, we just launched a new version of UNTHA. So for all your upcoming machines, you should have a completely technical documentation online. So this includes the operator's manual as well as the electrical circuit diagrams. And the second innovation, which is coming up the next week, so I hope we have it ready for the 1st of October, that I can show it to you during the technical training, is the... So we have the, self-service platform. Sorry. So we give the customers the chance or some tutorials on how to react on certain errors, or even better, how to avoid them in the future. Furthermore, we will give them small introductions or small tutorials on how to do certain maintenance steps. When it comes to Genius, we can say that we now have a solid foundation. So we have the data real-time online, so we can just go on with more advanced projects. So we have 3 upcoming projects that we are working on now. They are done in cooperation with different customers, the university in Salzburg, as well as a company for AI solutions. 2 of them mainly deal with predictive maintenance. So we predict errors before they occur in order to avoid machine shutdowns. And the third one, which is kind of online parameter optimization, is I don't want to go into detail because don't want to take the attention of this topic, and let's see what the future brings. At the end of my presentation, we bring with Genius a lot of solutions, or a lot of solutions to the issues Christian brought up at the beginning. So we detect the errors in real time or even before they occur. We send them to you as well as to the customers and tell them how to react on them in order to solve the problem, or even better, to avoid it in the future. And the third point is we have all this stuff available in 5 different languages in UNTHA. And the most important information, so the last point from my side, is the fact that it should be clear for you that Genius is a living product. So we are continuously developing Genius. Genius is evolving over time as well as UNTHA. And what's also pretty nice here is all changes that we are doing here in UNTHA are directly applied to all customers. So the Data Explorer as well as the reporting function is directly available the day we launch it. This is not true for all of our developments, but for those who are in UNTHA. Yesterday I talked with Bernhard as well as with Marcus. They told me they want another feature here, a bit more text there, and we can launch it within a couple of days. Yeah. At the end of my presentation, I have a small surprise for you. I prepared a test account. It will be given to you, or you can show it here. You can use it in order to test my UNTHA, to check out all the features, to develop the data explorer as well as the reporting function. It is directly connected with one of our demonstrators that is currently in operation in Germany. And you can use it until the end of September, and I'm really looking forward to see you all again at the technical training on 1st of October, and I'm really looking forward to your feedback regarding the homepage My UNTHA as well as Genius. So.
Marcus, thank you. I think you'll all agree, a great presentation. And as importantly, thank you for sharing your expert knowledge on the subject. You may have experienced a short technical issue during that, but not to worry, everything's covered and you'll have all that information directly after the presentation. From the studio, we're all going to take a 5-minute break and obviously grab some coffee and some water. So we'll see you soon. Thank you. So welcome back to part 2 of our Innovation Day. And yeah, that 5 minutes went pretty quick, didn't it? So hope you had a chance to have a coffee and some water and maybe a toilet break. But anyway, we're looking forward to the next highlights. And to start phase 2, let's look at another video. Well, what a great start, and we're pretty much excited to hear what Christian has got to say on his presentation now. So, Christian, over to you.
Thank you, Gary. So it's a pleasure for me to give you now the presentation of the ZETA series. We will start as first with a short trailer from the ZETA 2400.
UNTHA shredding technology. You're looking for pioneering technology for coarse shredding applications? Then the ZR class might be just what you need. Thanks to its innovative drive concept, the ZR is a highly economical 2-shaft shredder with the lowest life cycle costing in its class. Based on the tried and tested XR class, the UNTHA engineers developed this high-performance primary reducer. Its slow-running ripper cutter system ensures problem-free shredding of your materials. With its robust machine construction, the ZR is suitable for tough, continuous operation. It reliably shreds domestic, bulky and industrial waste, waste wood, mixed construction waste, bales and much more. It is also suitable for processing scrap metal, white goods and electronic waste. The benefits are clear. The UNTHA Eco Power Drive keeps energy costs to a minimum. The cutting chamber is easy and quick to clean in case of a change of material. Maintenance is efficient and straightforward. The cutting table and the cutting shafts can be exchanged within 1 hour. The cutting shafts run independently of one another, thereby ensuring perfect material breakdown. For even more flexibility, this primary reducer is also available in a mobile version. It comes with UNTHA Genius, the condition monitoring system for more productivity. All that and much more makes our primary reducer a reliable powerhouse that pays for itself, hard-wearing, cost-efficient. Take the opportunity of trying out the ZR on your premises. Contact us at untha.com/ZR.
So this was the first trailer, what you can use for a presentation this series to your customers. As next, we have done a video direct beside of the machine on the ZETA. This we will show you now. Dear sales team, it's a pleasure for me to present you first time our new ZETA series. First of all, I want to explain a little bit why we have developed this machine. There was mainly 3 reasons why we have developed this new series. The main reason, or the first reason, was that we want to have a solutions for requirements where we have at the moment no answer on the XR series. So this means for application which we can at the moment not fulfill with our existing range. The second topic was that we had this customer survey, what I have explained before in my presentation. From this customer survey, we learned that it is very important for the customer to have a really robust shredder, which can shred more or less everything and not damaging the knives. The third topic was to have a fast maintenance for the cutting system. So this means that the customer have really less downtime for wear work. So first of all, it is a slow speed 2-shaft shredder which is shredding against a cutting table. This is a major difference in comparison to regular 2-shaft shredder which are shredding 2 shafts together. The second point is that this is a 100% electric driven machine. So this is no electro-hydraulic drive or no diesel hydraulic drive, it's 100% electric. The third point is that our Setia series is available in a static and in a mobile version. So these are the 3 essential points from this machine. As next, I want to explain you for which application we are using this machine in the future. So there are 2 main requirements. The first is shredding of waste and the second is shredding of metal. On the waste application, we can fulfill the requirements for MSW, industrial waste, bulky waste, wood waste. These are the main requirements in the waste business. In the metal application, we have a various range of different materials what we have to shred. I want to show you just a few examples where we have experience now. This is a mixed aluminium, this is aluminium profiles, we have aluminium copper coolers, for example. We have guardrails from motorways or bundles of aluminium wires. These are just some examples what we can do with this machine. On top of it, we have also seen that the machine are really good for white goods. So this means for shredding of refrigerators or for wash machines. There we had until now really good results with this type of machine. Which capacities, in which field this machine is working? In the waste application is just a few examples. Means we have experience that we are shredding about 50 tons an hour on C&I applications. In the metal business, we have seen that the machine working in a field of about 8 to 15 tons an hour. So, which particle size you can reach with this machine? We have the machine developed for a particle size of more or less 300 mil. This is the application where the machine is working in the best way. So this means the 300 mil have the advantage that you can transport afterward the material very good, and you have the different sorting system can work with this particle size very well. On top of it, it's very important that the machine making is open the material, means not compressing the material. This is for high quality sorting lines afterwards, a real high requirement from our customer, which we can fulfill with this machine very good. Also, we see fields where afterwards optical sorters are running. For optical sorters, it's also very important to have less fines. and we have until now really good results on this. Now we are coming to the technical details of this machine. So first of all, we have two basic models. So this means one time the mobile version, what you can see here in front of me. The mobile version is available on tracks, and the underneath the frame of this machine is the same as on the IXA models. For static applications, we have a various amount of underframes available, but we have also accessories on hoppers, which we can design right for the customer's requirements. The advantage of the mobile and the static version is that we can still demonstrate the machine on site. Means, you know, this is our success also on the XR applications, that we can go with the mobile machine on site, demonstrate the machine to the customer, and the customer have afterwards the possibility to order a static or a mobile version. The discharging system of the mobile Zeta series is the same as the XR series. We are using the same conveyor belts, the same overband magnetic system, and the same hydraulics. Now we are coming to the heart of the machine, the cutting table. We have two different types of cutting table available. For waste applications, we are using the H table, what you can see here. This means the H table have a horizontal surface. For metal application, we have developed a special W table, which have the shape of a W and which works very good on the metal applications. The waste table and the waste shafts, what you can see here, have 8 blades on each shaft, and the thickness of the blades is 80 mil. How is this cutting principle of this Zeta working? You can see here both shafts, and the table means the shafts cutting against the table. Every 30 to 60 seconds, the rotation of the shafts is turned, and both shafts changing the direction individually. Through this function, the material inside of the machine is opened and comes all the time in a different position, and the machine can take it very good. The machine is using no screen underneath, so the gaps underneath are open and the material dropping down to the discharging system. What is now the difference from the W table to the H table? It is on the one hand side the shape, what I explained before, and the second is that the gaps here in the center are opened on the waste table and closed on the metal table. So this means we can treat smaller particle sizes on the metal applications. Now we are coming to the maintenance of this table. As you can see here, we have no replaceable pieces what you can change. In this type of Zeta series, you can work just with wear welding. There are two possibilities. You can wear weld the shafts and the table here inside the machine, or you can do this outside in the workshop if you are using our quick changing system. This means the table are transported into the workshop and is refurbished. Depending on the application, you have to calculate that you have to do this work every 500 hours. As next point, I want to show you the drive of this machine. So we are using for the Zeta series the UNTHA Eco Power Drive, what you know from our XR series. So we are using here the same parts and components, means the frequency converter, the electrical motor, the clutches and the gearboxes are exactly the same as from the XR series. We are using for the Zeta series the modular construction system from the Ixa series. So the advantages for the customer are that they have same spares and same components into the plant, into operation. Why we are using this UNTHA Eco Power Drive for the Zeta series? The UNTHA Eco Power Drive is for the ZR series the perfect drive, because you know we are using there the synchronous drive, and this kind of cutting system needs a lot of dynamic of the drives. So this means we have a lot of forward-backward operations, and for this the UNTHA Eco Power Drive can use his strengths and is a really perfect solution. On top of it, we have no wear parts or less wear parts into operation. We have no belts, or we have no parts what you have which need maintenance. We have just the clutches inside which can cut off the right torque on the machine, and it's a real low wear drive. So we have shown you now the technical explanation of the machine. The next question is, how will this machine perform? And for this question, we prepared a video for you from machines which are into operation. This video gave you the first impressions from the performance of this machine. As next point, we will show you the unique selling point of this machine. This is our quick table changing system. For this we have prepared also a short video. So I hope you got the first ideas and impressions from the machine during operation. As next point, we have here from the company Schaufler, Mr. Schwarz. He is operating this machine since 1 year now. And I have 2 questions to him. Perhaps he can answering this us very well. Mr. Schwarz, how is your experience regarding the electrical power consumption from the machine after this 1 year period of operation? And the second question would be, in the metal business, there's a special requirement. You have very often to clean the machine because you're changing the input material. Which experience you have with the cleaning of the machine?
Well, speaking about energy consumption, energy costs, we at our side are focusing on the specific energy input, meaning kilowatt hours per ton. Why we are focusing on it? Because the energy costs are rising year per year. Therefore, for materials which are hard to shred, energy consumption is generally very high. The ZR is surprisingly low, so energy consumption is very low. We were very surprised by the energy consumption. Well, we are talking about 5 to 10 kilowatt hours per tons, and that means really low costs compared to other shredders. Well, that's it for the energy consumption. Talking about cleaning, cleaning is very important. Why? On our side, we change the materials we have to shred very often. So, for example, I want to give you an example. We shred aluminum profiles, which have output quality by 99.9%. 2 hours later, we are shredding copper aluminum coolers. So, long story short, the cleaning is very important. I would say between those 2 inputs, you can clean the whole shredder within 50-20 minutes. Just the only thing you need is to open the doors and clean it with air, and that's it. Very easy, very good.
Okay, Mr. Schwarz, then thank you very much from your feedback during the 1 year operation. Then I'm on the end from my presentation. Gary, please move on.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Christian, just really want to say just another very impressive presentation on the new ZR 2400. And just to reconfirm things for you, just want to let you know again that all of the relevant marketing material for the market launch of this machine will be available to you immediately after the event. So, one for me, pretty exciting, this one. The next item on the agenda is our discussion round. And we've got a warm welcome to the panel, and we're going to discuss the ZR specifically now. And I think to start with, I think we're going to move over to Daniel and ask Daniel, can you explain some of the innovational benefits of the new ZR? So, Daniel, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Yeah, I would like to use the opportunity to start with really good information about the waste sector. So we were also in a lucky position to be got involved and being invited for a tender process in Austria at the company FCC in the east part of Austria, where they were looking for a new shredder. So it's an existing customer using also one of our prototypes of the Ripper version, so the previous one that Christian Lanner and his team was developing in the year 2014. And currently they're looking for a new shredder. And currently they have even 2 lines in operation, and these 2 lines they want to bring together and to generate 100,000 tons yearly on a yearly base with 1 shredder on a 1-shift operation. So the requirements was to have a shredder generating 300 millimeter output size at the capacity of 45 to 50 tons an hour. And yeah, coming back to this question from you, Gary, we got involved and we got invited to do a demonstration with our ZR machine. And we did a 4-week long test on site. And we were one of, in total, 4 competitive machines being involved in this process. And during a tender discussion, I got the feedback from the operator, Mr. Handler, quite right away about his 4 weeks of testing time about our ZR machine. And this comes to the answer of your question, Gary. Finally, it was like this, that he was keen on seeing a twin-shaft, a 2-shaft machine in operation, but looking for a stationary equipment. If possible, electrical drive with low power consumption, good cutting function, high throughput capacity. And within this trial on site, we can convince him to take our machine in closer look for closing the deal in the future. Therefore, he highlighted more or less following points out of the ZR machine. Number 1 was for sure the situation on the driveline system compared with the high throughput capacity and the really good power consumption ratio. This was more or less top, as also mentioned by Mr. Schwarz from the company Schaufler. So we could got also the proof for the waste sector based on this long-term run. Secondly, the accessibility. Mr. Schwarz explained the accessibility for cleaning the table, that there are flexible doors around the machine on the front and on the back, which are easy to open and get easy accessibility for the re-welling action on the cutting system. And finally, number 3 was for sure the situation of this quick change cutting table system. As you could see it in the video. This was also done during this trial on site by our demonstration crew, and so we could give him also really good information in real-time action how it long would take to take out this cutting table. So to sum up, power consumption, high throughput capacity compared with the homogeneous output size of the 300 millimeter, compared with the maintenance accessibilities, these have been for sure the highlights of the ZR machine, Gary.
Daniel, excellent explanation. Thank you very much for that. Very much appreciated. As you can see now, guys, I've now come down and in a slightly more relaxed format and joined the rest of my my colleagues in the arena. So really now, moving on to a second question that really interests me, and I think what you guys will be asking as well is, is what can this machine shred? What can the ZR 2400 process? So I'd like to put that to 2 of my colleagues. I'd like to put that to Marcus and to Bernie, and I think more on the geographical format with Marcus letting us know and understand what we can process in the UK, and obviously from Bernie what we can process in the USA. So Marcus, would you like to start?
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that it's never been such an exciting time for UNTHA as a brand and the products that we've got. I think the ZR really, really complements everything that we've done over the years in terms of development of a waste product. We've really got something special here. Not just as a standalone waste reducer, but in combination with our other products such as the RC, the C, to really, really give our customers, the complete solution, which we've never ever had before. We're going to get the first ZR into the UK. That's being shipped next week. We've got a showcase event coming up in October, over 2 weeks, where we're really going to put the ZR through its paces. And for us, over the years, when we actually got the, first the C machine and the R machine in the XR range, it allowed us to really go out and look for completely new markets that we'd never we'd never really experienced before. We were well known for high-speed waste-to-energy production from shredders. All of a sudden, we had the capability to go out and talk to wood producers, to the guys who were in the waste, wanted a homogeneous output from a waste shredder, and to the point that this year, we've sold 20 XRs in the UK. Yeah, not a bad number really, and we're looking at the ZR to absolutely complement those numbers and to, take us to the next stage. And, where will that be? What does that customer look like for us in the UK? I mean, to be fair, pretty much anybody now who's got a requirement for a shredder. I mean, it's exciting when we look at what's gone on at Chauffeur in the metals market. We've been doing some really, really good stuff with the C, in terms of cable shredding, aluminium shredding. I think that the ZR actually opens up those metal markets where you've got, as Mr. Schwartz said, the focus is on that real energy, producing that cost per ton against, because everything's about that cost per ton. Looking at a diesel hydraulic system, the savings that you've got with the electrical drive are just absolutely outstanding. I think people, and we've seen this time and time again in the UK, when people buy an XR and they buy the XR platform, at first we go in and we give them the figures, we tell them the savings that they can make, and it's unbelievable for a lot of these guys. It's a bit of trepidation. They buy the machine because they trust us as a brand. They trust that we've got, the capability in the UK to actually, sell those machines. We've got the providence. But, when they're there and then you see that the profit that they make from the range, it's outstanding. And, that these days, we don't sell just one shredder to customers typically. They'll buy 2 or 3 in quick succession because they see that the capabilities and the profitability of the EcoDrive, and obviously that the ZR is going to complement that. And I think another good point to make as well is that that quick change table, from if we're looking at the waste to energy market, which typically has been predominantly covered by we know the competitors who are in that market. One of the big issues is, a lot of combustible material in a very small area. Yeah. And, we're welding within a confined space in a shredder with combustible material underneath that shredding system is really, really difficult for a lot of customers. They do not like working in those conditions. And I think that the exchangeable table that, Christy and his team has developed, that you can quickly change them out in several hours, means that, these waste to energy plants have got a really, really new option compared to the incumbents in the market. And, I think for us, they're going to be the main 2 markets that we're going to go at. Obviously, initially, will be, as I say, anyone, but in terms of new markets, it will be those waste-to-energy primary reducers, and it will be the metal markets for us in the UK. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, really, really excited about what's going to happen and the future of this product. And as I say, we're looking to really, really push forward with this next year. And, I would be massively surprised if we're not taking several orders for this product by the end of this year.
Excellent.
I agree with Marcus. I think that waste to energy market and also the metals market will be very important for us in the United States. But also, as Marcus mentioned, I think it will be best to get the machine out there, get it into the market, get it to the customer site, do as many demos as possible with the customer's material and show them what that a state-of-the-art 2-shaft shredder can do now for them. And in the US, especially the recyclers and the waste processors, in their mindset, they still think, in their mindset, if they shred unprocessed or unsorted material, unsorted waste, they still they still basically opt for hydraulic units because of the sheer amount of unshreddable items that can be found in those waste streams. And yeah, unfortunately, it's unbelievable what you can find in those streams overseas in America, also in Canada. And I think, yeah, we will have to do some educating over there, what a state-of-the-art drive system like our UNTHA Eco Drive can do for them, and how it compares to a hydraulic unit that we have. We have that high torque application, that low speed, high torque application, and the drive system is very robust. And if something gets in there with that low speed of our synchronous motors, we can immediately stop. We don't have that kinetic force that we otherwise would have with a standard asynchronous motor. And so that will be one of our main focus in the US, to educate our customers that hydraulic system, yeah, they have their purpose, but those new state-of-the-art shredders and our drive system, the UNTHA Eco Drive system, can really bring a lot of advantages to the table. And as Daniel discussed earlier, the energy savings for them will be tremendous. And in the US, there's a push for to go green, to reduce reuse and recycle, and just be more environmental cautious. And so that will be big for us. And in terms for the areas where we can utilize the unit, we have a lot of construction demolition waste will need to be treated, or is being treated in the United States. Where afterwards hand sorting, or now a lot of robotic sorting lines are being put into place, where you need material being liberated, but not like with less fines, big chunks that can be easily detected and sorted. And so that will be a tremendous opportunity for us. But also, as Marcus mentioned, we'll get it out there. We'll explore different markets, see what it can do for them, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Excellent, Bernie and Marcus. Thank you very much for that. And I think we can start to understand that, geographically, we are going to be processing, different types of material, whether that be in Europe, whether that be in Australia, whether that be in America or the UK. We're all doing something slightly different. So many thanks for your explanation on that, guys. Mr. Swartz has very kindly already given us, a detailed explanation on the economics and the energy efficiency of the ZR. So thank you for that. What I'd like to do now is, I'm sure you've a question that we normally get raised and that we normally have to answer, is the one regarding cutter life and cutter life technology. And I think, Christian, if you could give us some information on cutter life and probably the new technology that we're using on the machine.
Yeah, first of all, this machine works just with wear welding, so you cannot compare like a single shaft shredder where you can replace cutters or where you can replace teeth. You have to work just with wear welding. And generally, there will be not just one single answer on it. So it's depending also up to other projects that it's always up to the input material. In the CNI and CNT waste, I'm sure there will be a lot of concrete blocks or bricks and stone inside. So it's always up to the material. But the experience what we had until now was that on the metal side, we are more or less on 500 operational hours where the shafts should be wear welded, and this is more or less the same on the waste side. Yeah, so generally we can work with a universal figure of about 500 hours. This is our experience until now.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that, Christian. We have received a few questions on these on various other topics via the chat line, and here are some of those interesting questions. I think what we're going to do is we're going to throw this open to the forum. So the first question is, and thank you very much for this, what are the experiences of the experts regarding Genius? Our expert is over here, so we may have to bring the Genius expert in very shortly. Marcus, do you want to come in on this one?
Yeah, I think, from the first iteration of Genius was very, I'd say, focused on, what it meant to us as, UNTHA colleagues and suppliers. I think this, what I've seen from Marcus and the team over the last few weeks with the Genius products is pretty exciting, to be fair. A lot more focus on the output for our customers, but also, allowing that information to be fed back to us as, the suppliers, as the subsidiaries, as the agents, whoever we are, to allow us to make informed decisions as well, and better support our customer base. I mean, I think one of the things that we all tend to struggle is, when to contact customers, say for, when you need a cutter change, what spares you need when you need a service. Well, Genius is now providing all that information to us as that supplier to that customer. And I think it does allow us to give a lot more focus on the end user, and give ultimately better service, which, generally, if we're looking at that customer journey, should translate into future sales for us, whether that be in spares or with machinery. So yeah, absolutely, really, really excited about the product and the developments that are being made.
I'd like to also share some experience with Genius that we have had in the US. Especially, US and Canada, that's a large geographical area. And it's nice to just, be able to go online and see what's going on with these machines, especially if you have demo units and rental units. And we had one customer, they had to replace a Lindner line, and they were interested in a single pass a shredder capable of producing SRF, RDF in that 1-inch, 30mm kind of range. And so we had the XR3000 XC, the X cutter, that as a demo unit. So we provided them with the demo unit, and we had a very successful commissioning, and we showed them what that unit is capable of. And so they decided to rent that unit for a certain period of time, and until they're able to get new equipment, stationary equipment, where we got an order of 2 stationary XR X cutters. And what Genius allowed us is first during that demo trial is to really showcase also the energy consumption, to really show what energy they really need to process their material, which was very beneficial. And also during that rental period, we basically invoiced on a monthly basis, and depending if they were running the shredder on a single shift or on a double shift, that amount changed, how much was invoiced. Mm-hmm. So we were able to independently dial in, verify operating hours, and if they went over that 40 operating hour per week or the 160 per month, we know, okay, the double shift rental fee will apply. We didn't rely on calling them, say, hey, can you give us the operating hours? No, we dialed in, we got the operating hours. And so that was really helpful. We were able to see, okay, are they abusing our machine? You don't want to have a customer abuse the machine and throw, like constantly reverse it or overload it. So we were able to verify that. Unfortunately, the machine or the plant suffered from a fire, which it was a loss, a complete loss of the machine. But with Genius, I was able to dial in and kind of see what happened during those last minutes where the equipment was lost. And we saw that horizontal discharge belt, basically the motor protector, basically went off, and shut down that conveyor. And then we saw that through the error messages that we received and were being recorded on the cloud, that the fire started to spread from that conveyor, or basically from that pile underneath the conveyor, throughout the machine until it reached the hydraulic unit, and then we had high temperature in the hydraulic unit, and then we had low oil level in the hydraulic unit. So you can you can imagine what happened.
Messy.
and so it was really nice to have that type of information. The customer did not know what happened. Basically, your operators ran out of the building, and didn't know much what was going on, and didn't have video camera footage. So with Genius, we got a little bit of a picture of what happened, and so I'm really an advocate for that system, and I'm happy to have that with our shredders.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Marcus and Bernie. I think that's an excellent explanation on how Genius can be used. Next question, again staying with the new ZR technology. The question is, how long does it take to change the ZR tables? Again, to an open forum here, guys.
I will take this one as we demonstrated in the trial period as FCC, this kind of procedure. So we particular took the situation that we just start the gasoline power generator to take the machine out of the operation in this kind of location as you saw the video. And we didn't clean up tightly the cutting table to have real situation on a messy or a messed up situation. And by having the equipment on site, by doing it on a constant normal operation mode, you can calculate in more or less 2 hours to be able to unchange and change the new cutting table. For sure, if you are more advanced and you are more often doing this, you can for sure speed up the process accordingly, also depending a little bit on the numbers of operators that you have on site, due to the fact that you have to open screws on both sides, on the left and the right hand side, and to move the table a little bit around 8 centimeters, as I remember, from the driveline concept in order to lift it to the top level, or even if you have a situation you to the back or to the front part of the shredder, Gary.
Excellent, thank you for that, Dan. And I mean, maybe again, this is a lot of these questions, can be vented to the open forum. Probably, and again, this question is the XR3000RC, so slight change in technology here, guys. Is the XR3000RC able to shred C&I to minus 100 mil particle size and wood waste to minus 80 mil particle size? And is the throughput higher than the XR3000C? So I think, guys, we've all got a lot of experience on that geographically. Feel free to pitch in here.
Yes. I think it's our experience in the UK. Yeah, I mean the C's absolutely fantastic. I don't think that I don't think the RC in certain applications will replace the C. But what we've seen, taking the wood product, as an example, and the 80 mil screen, 80 mil product, absolutely, the machine produces it fantastically well. Very, very low fines with the RC, which obviously the C was well known for as well. Both machines complement each other. Potential with the RC for secondary screening with wastewater products and biomass. Whereas sometimes with the C we can get away without screening. But consequently the throughputs are a lot higher. We're talking in the 40 to 50 tons an hour range, which, as I explained before, is pretty much where the sweet spot for that wood production market. So yeah, absolutely. I think most probably, Daniel, you'd have more experience on the commercial type applications than.
Yeah, you're right. I would also add. It's also a question of the philosophy, Gary. As explained by Christian, the RC has no RAM device. So in my position as a sales guy, it's also the question how the customer wants to feed the machine. And by realizing having no RAM device, I think you have a really, really flexible machine type with the RC that you can use an excavator on one hand side or a loading shovel on the other side, because there's no RAM device moving inside of the feeding area, which could be slightly a problem to feed bulky material into the shredder, which we also realized in the waste wood applications. Therefore, it was a really genius approach by Christian and his team to move on to this RC machine without the RAM device. So here see absolutely advantage of the RC model. Anyhow, if you are able to overcome this, I would say this kind of disadvantage of the cutter machine, from the technical point of view, the cutters are smaller of the C machine. They will produce smaller particles by each cut of the rotation speed. So in the final end, the output size will be for sure smaller versus to the RC possible. And therefore, in terms of C&I waste, where you normally don't have this kind of bulky input materials of long, thin, bulky wooden pieces as in the wood industry, I would normally prefer and go ahead with the C machine to generate in one step without any extra screening process the 80 millimeter output size, the calciner material as we know it from the cement industry would be for sure the state-of-the-art technical solution. Anyhow, it could be, as also mentioned by Christian, the situation that you have an installation in a complete big plant with a receiving area, and you feed this received input material by a big crane. There you face this situation of the restriction of the RAM device. This feeding area is really, really closed. And if you have the requirements to have here an output of 80 millimeter on the C&I waste, I would for sure go ahead with the RC model due to the fact that you have I would say an hopper without any restriction of the RAM device to produce also this output size of 80 millimeter.
I think as well on, talking about no RAM, our experience has been as well, and, talking about the wood again, is that, compared to some of the high-speed machines out there, which is obviously always, will be one of the main competitors that you'll be coming up against with the RC. Diesel hydraulic machines, very noisy, very expensive, high fuel consumption, all the stuff that we know and love. But, even those machines would struggle with some of the larger tree stumps, those type of materials. We've seen several trials that, the RC will outperform a lot of those high-speed machines with the bigger, bulkier wood items that, typically ground clearance. I think, Bernie, you have a lot of that type of those type of applications over in the US and Canada. I'm sure they're elsewhere and, globally as well. We do get a lot of that material in the UK as well, where, you get big stumps, big logs, and, the RC performs admirably with that material. Yeah, it's a, really, really versatile machine, whereas with the C, you put a large stump like that in with the RAM, with the smaller cutters, typically you'd struggle to produce the smaller product size.
And the good thing is, we have the possibility either or. We don't have to select. We can offer both.
Great.
So in the final end, the customer can choose based on his personal feeling or the advice of the sales guy, the correct technical solution. I think we don't have to forget this situation that with this modular system started by Christian and his team by 2014, we do have different machine setups, machine configuration available for our customers, which might confuse the customer, yes, but with the right technical information given through such kind of innovative things that we did today, we can advise really the customer to go ahead for the right technical solution. Never ever possible by the competitor. They go for one technical solution. This would be a machine, low speed RAM device, or a two-shaft machine, So we can play around all these situations that we can offer the right cutting system with the right setup for the operation.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Dan, and I think all of our colleagues will appreciate those comments, guys. You know, what I think is, you know, what you've mentioned there is the true, you know, the UNTHA product range just keeps giving and giving, you know, and when we look at that, you know, what we're talking about here, you know, is true versatility and flexibility. And as you've just pointed out, Dan, you know, it's not a case of a single solution. You know, we've got the answer to a number of those business and material applications. So, gentlemen, I'd like to, I'd like to thank you all for your input today on what we've been discussing. I think I'd like to summarise on a few points, and I've made some notes here, and I think some of these points may be interesting for you. So to summarise, you know, we have and sticking with the ZR technology, we have some real innovational benefits on this machine. You know, we have the interchangeable cutting tables, which is very, very unique. Quick change out metals to a range of other different material. We have the tried and tested eco drive, and again the systems are mobile, so you know, very easy to use in an outdoor application. We are able to process complex, very difficult materials through this machine. Some, you know, and in a lot of cases, other machines cannot perform this same complex task. And again, we have the unique cutter technology, you know, on this machine as well. So, you know, to summarise there, some very important points that I think are going to be useful when you start to push the sales drive forward and get this new machine out there into the market. We've pretty much now come to the end of the UNTHA Innovation Day, and I think you'll agree with me that we've encountered many exciting topics and presentations today. Couple of things that I'd like to remind you on, and if you can put these in your diary. We do have some other technical training days scheduled in. The first of these will take place on Friday the 24th of the 9th. This is for the ZR. And on Friday the 1st of the 10th, which will be specifically for Genius. Invitations to these technical training days will be sent out over the next couple of days, as will all the other launch release information. In summing up and in closing, I'd pretty much, you know, personally as well as on behalf of, you know, all of the team back here at the studio and at UNTHA HQ, I'd like to thank you for coming to this event and for your attention. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the UNTHA shredding technology team, and obviously wish you a successful and eventful day. We hope we've left you with some lasting impressions. And guys, I think you've pretty much got contact details for all of your colleagues that have been sitting here today. I'm sure they want to answer more questions for you, and they will appreciate that flood of emails in from you. So anyway, guys, let's continue to grow together. And thank you. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.